We came in this morning, there is some mildew and mold or something that's above the shower in the ceiling, but then also it looks like there's been water flowing through here, but the weird thing is it looks like it's been flowing maybe behind the wall, which is not pleasant. So we're gonna have to dig in up here and find out what's going on and get this water stopped. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take off this skylight area and see if we can see what's going on in here. Oh, there's a crack in the freaking light. I gotta get a new one of those. See it? You can see daylight right there. That's what the culprit is. All right, so figured out what the problem was. Got a crack in the skylight. So that's not good. And we're gonna have to get that fixed.
So today we are going to actually focus on putting in a new skylight, and we are going to take out all of this carpet on the ceiling, and we are going to put in a new ceiling in our shower.
Okay, so what I started to do is cut this away, and it is wet up in here too, so we're gonna have to take care of that. I'm gonna get this inside part of the situation out of here. I've shut the power off to this, which is why we don't have good lighting. These wires, and I'll rehook this, so I'll get this good and cleaned up. You can see it's just kind of dirty behind there. So basically with this, what you do is you take a putty knife and start just very gently chiseling up the goo as you go around. You got to be careful with this material. It's pretty tough, but you can poke it and cut it with a corner. So you're always working it flat, working it flat, working it flat. It's better to do it on a hot day, and it's a friggin' smoking hot day right now. And when you do it on a hot day, it's more gooey, it comes up easier, but it's also not very much fun. Once I get all that off there, I try to scrape as much of the stuff off as possible, and then take some acetone on a microfiber cloth to kind of wash off any contaminants that would be on the surface that might keep it from being sticky, any kind of oils, anything like that.
On the ceiling in the shower, we got this backsplash from Home Depot. It's kind of like a plastic, but it looks really cool, and we put it in other campers before, so we're gonna go ahead and mark this while we have a big hole in the ceiling before we put the dome back in.
Okay, so we're gonna mark this with the marker so we know where the hole is to keep it easy. And even though this is a black marker, it's still gonna be able to be seen against the glossy plastic.
We marked the first one and we cut it, and now we've marked the second one, and we are going to first cut along this line. And the nice thing about this is you can just use a regular old pair of scissors to cut this, and it'll cut nicely, so it's not very difficult, but it looks really fancy, so I'm excited. Alright, now we're going to mark the second one and finish cutting it.
I'm going to put butyl tape on this strip here. This is kind of thin butyl tape though, so what I'm going to do is put it around the outer edge so that it's at least the gray part is touching the outer edge. And then what I'm going to do is keep going around it so that this whole edge is covered with butyl tape. Using number 10 by 1 inch screws. And I've got this set on a light torque setting. Too light. So kind of get a feel for, you don't want to tighten them too tight as they go in. Okay, so what I'm using is a Dicor Products lap sealant. That's a self-leveling sealant. So I'm going to put it on pretty wide, especially you can see the path that was here before me. So as I start, I kind of start way out here, come back and forth kind of like this, and I'm putting it on very liberally, especially in areas where I think it's going to be necessary, making sure to cover up the screw heads and also get it out here. You can kind of move it around a little bit. This is kind of a place where it's kind of come detached a little bit, so I'm going to put a lot on there. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue that all the way down, kind of work it around a little bit just where I see where it needs to kind of be pushed around. Got the die core on there, and I probably did a little overkill on this. I did a little bigger than I normally would, but I don't want this puppy leaking again, so you can see as it starts to level what it looks like. And I applied a fairly liberal amount. Normally I don't use that much, but again, I just don't want this puppy leaking again because that was unpleasant. So basically now it takes a while for this to cure up, and hopefully I never have to replace that again, because that's a lot of goo to remove next time. So that's the hardest part of the job, is removing the goo. For all of the products used in this video, you can actually go to our website, www.befreebenson.com. Now that we've finished the outside, we are going to put the backsplash on the ceiling and complete the inside of the ceiling. And to do that, one of the things they have are these little channels. And these channels can go up in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of the Loctite PL3X Premium Construction Adhesive. I'm going to put just a little dabble down the edge of this. I'm going to put this in place, and then I've got my stapler set, my pneumatic stapler set to a very mild setting to try and pop those in. So hopefully I tried it on a piece of wood outside to make sure it was at the right pressure. Hopefully that will translate in here as well. So I'm just going to put just a little tiny bead here. That's probably even too much. Maybe a little tight. Same thing on the next piece. I've cut them on 45-degree angles in the corners. Okay, so I am dry running the piece into place. So with these pieces, one will go under the other. This little rounded lip goes over this flat lip, so I'll actually put this piece in first. So I am going to dry run this one real quick. So before I tack this in around here with some staples, I am going to get the other piece ready, because I need to make sure it's all lined up appropriately before I start tacking stuff in. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the electrical wires for the inside cone, I guess you could say. And we're going to place that up in place. And I'm using these little little connector bobbers, where you just put it on to one side and then the other. So we do black. Pieces in there, get your pliers, squeeze it in. I'm going to try to line this up as much as possible for what it was before. So that should be pretty close right there. real careful with this brittle plastic because it will break very easily. All right, so it looks really good. We're just gonna get a little piece of trim for this outside edge. One handy thing about this stuff is that actually you can trim it with scissors, which makes it a lot easier to deal with. All right, so it turned out pretty good. So if you found value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button and also subscribe. It really helps us out. If you want to access the products we've used, you can go to our website at www.befreebenson.com. And also, if you like videos like this, check out our playlist. We've got a lot of different things that we've done, and we'd like to share those with you as well. And as always, doing things yourself, stepping outside the box, being crazy, allows you to be free.